Help me up, never let it fall. Help me roar like an animal. Back to the bone. Watch out, 'cause I'm in my zone.
Monday night basketball is back. The reigning champs are on the ropes early in the season, but they can turn it around tonight against the unbeaten Auckland Tuatara. No mai hara mai, hello and welcome to the capital for the Wellington Saints up against the Auckland Tuatara here at TSB Bank Arena in Wellington. Great to have you with us. Looking forward to this one. Justin Nelson and Megan Compain with you. Megan, great to see you for the first time this season.
You said the lovely Megan Compain in the warm-up.
Yes.
We had a lovely drop-off.
Well, sorry about that, the lovely Megan Compain. It is great to see you, and we see the Saints in a bit of an unusual position, 0-2 coming in.
It is. I don't imagine the Saints are used to being in this position, but then again, they have had a bit of a rocky start with 2 games in, and a couple of their players missing, obviously key imports and others that are just now starting to join the fold. And as you mentioned before, 8 days straight of Coach Malloy running the team through their paces and through the drills, and of course at home in front of a home crowd. So let's see what they can turn on tonight.
Busy times in the Sal's NBL. This is the final game of round 3, but we're already looking ahead to round 4, and it starts super quick. On Wednesday night, the Tuatara with the quick turnaround, they take on the Hawks. That will be a massive game on Sky Sport Wednesday night. Friday, the Bulls and the Nuggets back at the Stockyard. The Nuggets, what a win over the Hawks in round 3. The Bulls dropped their first one. And Saturday, the early game, the Giants, great win at the Stockyard on Saturday night. They take on the Rams, who are headed home as we speak after a double road win against the Jets in the Airs. There's the ladder as it sits. Round 3, 1 game to come. That's this one tonight. Tuatara, the only unbeaten team in the competition. But look at the bottom end of the ladder, the Saints 0-2, desperate to get this one tonight.
That's right. And when you stack them up stat by stat, the Auckland Tuatara are actually winning in all assets of the game, and the Saints aren't. But in things that are really, something that they can actually achieve and better results on. You know, you don't shoot 59% from the Resine stripe and expect to win games.
There's the starters tonight for the Tuatara. Now, Braden Iuli, huge chance for him because Dante Russo-Nance is out. He's not playing this game. He averages more than 35 minutes per game. It's the 3rd highest in the league right now, so big shoes to fill. Of course, Aaron Young is the man behind the whiteboard. He'll have plenty of plans to fill that spot. Here he is. Coach, 3-zip start to the season, been very good. The Saints, though, they're going to keep loading up. They're going to keep getting better. What do you expect tonight?
We expect a lot of energy, desperate for a win. We understand what this building represents and the history of this club, so we expect their best shot, and that's what we've been preparing for, so it's going to be a good challenge for us.
No Dante tonight. He's actually, I think, 3rd in terms of minutes played per game across the whole league this season. How do you fill that gap?
Next man up. Braden's going to get a great opportunity. Ruben, who have been really impressive in the minutes that they've played. Braden had a great game against the Rams last week, so just next man mentality, and that's the kind of group that we have.
Best of luck out there.
Yeah, thanks, Justin.
What a great start to the season the Tuatara have had. What about the Saints? 12 premiership, 12 championship banners, including, of course, 2021. An indifferent start to the season, but the artillery is starting to come into the capital, and Guy Malloy will be looking forward to seeing Dane Samuel, Jordan Artai and Mike Smith back on court tonight for their 2nd game with a little bit more training time under their belts.
Yeah,
there's their starters.
That's right, and what I love about what Jordan Mills has tried to do with this team is to establish a Wellington-based team. You know, he's going for the locals, and he's proven that it worked well last year, and let's see whether they can get some results this year.
Let's catch up with Coach Guy Malloy on his thoughts ahead of tonight's game. Guy, about 8 days between games. Great chance to prep with this team and spend some time with them. How's it been?
Valuable, because it still feels like the in-season, pre-season at the moment. But it's been a really good week for the 3 guys that came in Dane and Natai and Mike Smith. So hopefully we've moved forward a little bit.
Twin Towers of the Tuatara, they've had a great start to the season. Rob Lowe, Chris Johnson, how do you stop them tonight?
Yeah, they're a handful. I don't think we can really stop them and take everything away. But, I mean, there are certain aspects I think we need to blunt fairly well. And you know, at the same time, we've got to be difficult to guard as well. So our chemistry is starting to emerge a little bit, and I'm hoping we're a bit better at both ends of the floor tonight.
Best of luck out there.
Thanks, mate.
Kenny McFadden Court. That's the home of the Saints for season 2022. What a great touch, and we're going to catch up with Jordan Mills at halftime and talk more about that.
Yeah, it's a lovely touch. It's a very surreal feeling walking into the TSB Arena tonight without Kenny Mack on the sideline. I'm sure the players are feeling it as well. Extra motivation.
Let's have a look at some head-to-head stats here, and as you would expect, Tuatara 3-0, Saints 2-0. And the stats certainly show that so far this season. The stars to look out for tonight: Chris Johnson going at 20 points and a league-high 14.7 rebounds for the Tuatara. And for the Saints, look out for Mike Smith, his second game in the blue, and I would expect him to have a big one tonight. Your officials tonight, let's catch up with them. And there they are. Melanie O'Connor right in the middle. Hayden Pipe and Regan Ashley are the officials for this game tonight. How do you see it playing out, Megan? Because two teams with some different form lines at the moment.
Two teams with different form lines, a 3-0 and an 0-2. You know, from the stats perspective, you'd expect that the Tuatara are going to be very, very difficult to beat. They've got an unbelievable inside presence with Rob Lowe and Chris Johnson. That's going to be hard to compete with, but I don't know. I think the Saints have got a lot to play for, a lot of pride, and you say that Kenny McFadden factor, first time back on the court, this team will be playing for him as well.
The big out, as we said, for Auckland Tuatara, of course, is Dante Russo-Nance. He's going at 13.7 points, 5.7 rebounds, 2.7 steals, 4.7 assists, 17 years of age, 35.3 minutes a game, the third highest in the league so far this season. Why do we mention all of that? Because they're big shoes to fill.
At 17 years old, and did you say he's got a curfew and he can't make the game tonight?
Monday night curfew. I like that. I think he's got a school awards or something like that on. That's why he's not here tonight. So you tend to forget, given how great he's going, just the fact that he's still 17.
That's right. That's right. Too late for a school night.
If you are a Saints fan, Tom Vodanovic is in the building tonight. Clearance not through in time, so he's not playing. And Silas Schneider, import for the Tuatara, also in the building. His clearance not through in time, so both of those players missing from the respective lineups tonight. We've had an infringement on the jump ball to start off with, and the Saints will come up with the first possession.
Dane Samuel's even looking at that one a little confused of what happened, but he'll take it.
Underway. Here is Mike Smith, 15 points on debut last week. Gets it back from Kenneth Tuff, and he'll get an early look here. That looks short. It is short. Tatagaleveo with the rebound from the young man, Dane Samuel. The Saints are up and going.
He'll certainly take that open shot.
Hit 2 of 7 last week, Megan, from long range. He'll be happy with that start. Rob Lowe inside, great pass from Tucky Farrenson.
Just complete isolation in the post there, no help weak side. I think they're going to have to do something about that as the game goes on.
The Twin Towers, of course, for the Tuatara. Rob Lowe, Chris Johnson, Dane Samuel. Maybe a little bit of a heat check early there.
I think that might have been just a bit of a get back for the post-up down the other end of the court.
Here's Braden Iuli with Mike Smith all over him like a rash. Chris McIntosh to Johnson. McIntosh loves a three, Chris McIntosh. That's what he does well.
So it looks like the Saints are settling back in a zone early. If they're getting those open looks under the basket and open threes, it's going to be a bit of trouble for them.
Nartai looked a little heavy leg last week, as you would expect. Here he is early, getting a shot. That one in and out. Johnson has the size advantage here on Tatagaleveo. Young Tataga Leveo bodying up, gives away the foul. That'll count. And CJ is off to the Resine.
A little bit of work in the post there.
How's that for young Tataga Leveo up against a 71-game NBA veteran? Time at Portland, Boston, New Orleans, Minnesota.
Picking up exactly where he left off last year.
Nails the bonus from the Resine. Tuatara out early. There's a foul. It's going to be on Braden Iuli. What a job that young man's got tonight on Mike Smith.
That's his first foul.
Lots of fresh faces for the Saints in season 22. Sal's NBL proudly presented by GJ Gardner-Holmes. Last game of round 3. Saints on their home deck for the first time this season. Darnay Samuel over the top of Rob Lowe, back of the iron. Tuppen keeps it alive. Second chance. Mike Smith. Tuppen now fires, and that one in and out. So they've had some good early looks.
It's normally his bread and butter, but I don't know. Tuatara are making them spread the floor. I don't think they'd be totally happy with that shot selection. A lot of under pressure threes.
Kenneth Tuppen with the foul. As Chris McIntosh stepped back to go underneath. Early running here with the Tuatara. Here's Rob Lowe. Great start to the season. Second foul. Tuppen over the top of McIntosh. And that's not what Coach Guy Malloy would be wanting to see at the moment.
No, that's tough to pick up 2 fouls early on in quick succession. I don't imagine we'll see much of more of him for the rest of the first quarter.
Well, he's leaving him out there at the moment. Dougal Meter comes onto the floor for Tataga Leveo. So Kenneth Tuppen to run with 2 fouls at the moment. Rob Lowe for 3. He's been really good this season so far. Not on this occasion.
Just seems a little unfair when you're 6'9", and can step out and shoot the 3 as well as he can.
Unfair on who?
The opposition.
Here's Smith. Iuli to beat. Beats him well. Up and off the glass. No, cannot finish. Back the other way. Tuatara quickly. Iuli. Was there a hand? No. Loose ball. Lowe comes up with it. They settle. Farrenson from the 3. Nartai mops it up. Well, Dougal Meter had it spent before he got it. And that's not a turnover that Coach Guy Malloy will want to see early in the game.
Not after a great hustle rebound and box out at the other end. But look at the hands by Rob Lowe to pick up that fumble and then kick it out for a wide open shot.
Iuli in the end gets an open lane to the basket. He was very good last week for the Tuatara. Young man, played for the Bulls in season 21. Smith pulls up, comes up short, gets it back, goes again, and nails it on the second chance.
Got to love that confidence. I didn't get the first time. And
well, he's a big-time scorer, Megan. Over 1,900 points at collegiate level. Here's Lowe. Samuel did just enough to put him off, but it comes out to Chris Johnson. No mistake from CJ.
Oh, that's tough to swallow. That you missed the offensive rebound and then kicked out for a 3-point shot.
So the Twin Towers causing some early trouble here for the Saints. Nartai aggressively has it knocked away by Farrenson. Foul is going to be on Tucky Farrenson. Here's a replay, just getting a hand in there. Looked pretty clean from here.
Again, like the fact that they're starting to attack the paint though, rather than settle for those outside shots. Back to the Resine line.
It's Ruben Fitzgerald wearing 6.
4 Sal's NBL championships for Jordan Nartai. 29-year-old. Played nearly 35 minutes last week against the Nuggets. Full week of training under his belt. Makes the second and just steadies things down a little bit for the Saints.
Let's hear you, Saints family.
Fitzgerald into the game. Farrington. Johnson with some space. McIntosh in the corner. Can't complete. Saints back the other way, trailed by 6. Darnay Samuel on the attack. Low, inside corner. McIntosh kicks it to Ruben Fitzgerald, who in the end, Megan, had way too much space.
The ball movement by the Tuatara is just incredible.
Ngatai not clear out of his hands. Back they come again, the team in white. Fitzgerald, another look.
Made no mistake about that rebound.
Here's Mike Smith. Step back, looks good off the hand, short on the iron. Farrington, Lowe wants it inside. Farrington goes it alone, and why not? That'll bring a timeout. Big start tonight by the Tuatara, 3-0 on the season. They're out by 6 early.
Liking the look of that three-point line, but I just think the hands of Rob Lowe to catch the ball. He's doing everything from the inside out. You can see the outside pass, dishes it out, finds the open players. No question he can score inside the paint if he needs to.
Good start tonight by the visitors. 3 of 7 from downtown early in this one. They're going at 53%. The Saints, just 3 of 11 in the opening 6 minutes, shooting at 27%.
The Saints having a lot more success when they start attacking the hole. We saw Darnay Samuel just before take it the length of the court. Don't think anyone was expecting him to keep going, but I think they're struggling when they're settling out for those outside shots.
Good crowd in here. Monday night basketball in the capital. The Saints back on their home deck for the first time in season 2022. There's Tom Vodanovic. You can see him just in the foreground there. Of course, won a championship last week in the Australian NBL with the Sydney Kings. He'll be hoping to be back in action for the Saints in round 4. They take on the Rams, by the way, on Sunday. There's that banner that they put up in the rafters, just another one.
Yeah, I think they've brought it forward too to just add a little bit of extra sting for the opposition coming into play. He's like right there, right under the scoreboard.
Either that or they're running out of room.
Yeah, that's fair too.
Got to start a second line. Tuatara out by 9. They've had a great start tonight. Johnny Hilou through traffic, hard shot, but makes it stick.
62.
Aggressive stuff from Johnny Hilou. Saints with the first basket out of the timeout. CJ goes up with power. Have a look at this on the GJ Gardner replay.
Wasn't a lot we were going to be able to do to stop that from ending up in 1 or 2 situations, either posterized or on the Resine stripe for 2.
And that's where he is right now. Have a look at this again. He's always just lit up here. He was going one place and one place only. Chris Johnson. 20 points per game, 14.7 rebounds per game, highest in the league. Playing just over 33 minutes a game at the moment. They're out by 8. Dougal Meter. Well, that's what he can do. That's his game. That's exactly what the Saints needed.
Mike Smith looked like he had one thought on his mind there. Catch the team off guard. Hoof it down the court. Find the open man.
Averaging 3 triples a game is Marnie Dougal Meter. So there's one, expect another couple. Brings the Saints back to within 5. And since that timeout, Megan, they're just starting to find their groove.
You're right. It's I think they're better attacking the basket. They've had a couple more open looks for threes rather than having the pressured threes they were forcing in the first round. It's just a really tough ask at the other end of the court. You take care of one 7-foot, basically 7-footer, and you've got to test to the other one, and you've got all your weapons from outside that are ready to open up and shoot the three.
Now the hold up in the game, Rob Lowe's just come off the court. He's got some blood on his shorts, on his right leg, so that's why there's a break in the game, and he'll have to change the pair of shorts. There he is. You can
the good old blood bin rule.
Yeah.
You don't see that very often anymore.
No, you don't. But that's the stoppage in the play. Back underway now. Inside, underneath, nearly putting it away. Nick Barrow, who's just come onto the floor for Rob Lowe. Good setup by the Tuatara.
Seems like the Saints are having a bit of trouble with that high pick and roll.
Delightful pass by
Delightful.
Tucky Farrenson. Well, bringing out all the big words. It's a Monday night after all. My head's usually in a dictionary on a Monday night. What about you?
As you say, that Monday night, the crowd's starting to fill up here at the TSB. The crowd is coming out to support the Saints for their first home game back since their championship win.
Downtown in the capital. Early going. Tuatara out by 7.
Oh.
Here's Dane Samuel drawing the foul on Nick Barrow. A little bit of an inside-outside dribble there.
A little in and out. You know, just watching him play last year, watching him play this year, looks like he's come back in a bit in good shape. We'll see how he lasts the season, but yeah, things that he does just surprise me for the size of the man.
Only 23 years of age. We tend to forget that with Dane Samuel. Scored 26 points in the grand final last season. Spent the season in the Australian NBL with Brisbane. Nails both from the Resine. And the Saints are just hanging around at the moment. Inside the last 3 minutes of this opening quarter. Round 3 action in the Sal's NBL tonight. Tom Beattie's wearing the number 4 for the Tuatara. Barrow keeps it in. Saints have got it. They're off to the races with a chance and to finish. Winiata Mulvihill and the crowd, Megan, up and about.
There's a lot to like in that play. I don't know where to start.
Here's Fitzgerald. Barrow out to set a screen. Fitzgerald for 3. Can't finish. Johnson rebound. No. They're off again, the Saints. Johnny Hillu, head up. Clears out some space. Dane Samuel there to help him out. Hillu round the back. Nice pass. Now with Ngatai. Farrenson to beat. Barrow helps out. Look out. Dougal Meter. No, not on this occasion. Chance goes begging for the Saints.
Put those hands together. Stop the beats.
They're back to within 3. Johnson loses a handle on it.
And Coach Aaron Young doesn't like what he's seeing there. Calls a timeout, quick timeout. A lot to like in those last couple of possessions with the Saints.
Well, you can just see also, Megan, that they've spent a little bit more time together. Here's that fast break. Johnny Hillu with the heads-up
Great
pass.
look up floor. That's right, and that was off another pick and roll that went really badly for them. It was just, I don't know whether it's confusion and calling the pick and roll, but there seems to be, they're so worried about the shooter, the dip at the diver goes baseline, almost got the open pass again. Turned around in a turnover and a layup down the other end, so they got a bit lucky.
Crowd in here tonight at TSB Bank Arena, enjoying some Sal's NBL action. Proudly presented, of course, by GJ Gardner Homes. And it's going to be a quick turnaround for the Tuatara as well, because they're back in action on Wednesday night, of course, all of that action live on Sky Sport. And they take on the Hawks, Megan, who have just had the Southern Swing, a great win against the Sharks last Thursday night. And then they came up against that really good-looking Nuggets team who beat them by 14 on Saturday night. So the Hawks went home 1-1. That's a good matchup coming up on Wednesday night.
I agree, and it's not easy to back up a game like this on the road with two back-to-back teams, with two good teams. As you say, the Saints were always going to come out strong for their first home game, and they have.
How's Jordan Nartai here getting up? Crowd loves that one. Rob Lowe with the foul, who's back out there now in a new pair of shorts. And Nartai off to the Razine. Just feel like he's starting to find his groove as well.
Well, I think he felt like he missed last year. I think everyone was so excited about him coming home and getting on the court, and then he had that unfortunate injury and had to sit the season out. It's great to see him back in a Saints uniform.
You look at Tom Vodanovic on the sidelines as well. He's going to be in this team probably next time out, next Sunday against the Rams. That's another big inclusion for the Saints. I got a little inside word from
owner Jordan Mills that there will be another announcement on Wednesday.
Look out. I think I might know what that announcement is. We'll keep everyone in suspense though. Here's Chris Johnson in and out. Underneath, Rob Lowe draws the foul. And that's the power of the Twin Towers.
There's not much you can do about that. There was a good box out situation. It's just the height difference is just so vast when you've got both of them in the paint.
Inside the last minute of the opening quarter here. Rob Lowe is yet another player with shoes that nearly match the Razine stripe. All sorts of colours in those big canoes. Lands the first. Second one's a no. And the Saints to bring it forward.
Under a minute, Wellington, keep that noise going.
Nartai finds Dougal Mita in the corner. Winning it, Mulvihill, no. They've had a number of shots in and out this first quarter too, the Saints. Here's Farrenson for three. Yes, Tucky Farrenson.
No hesitation there on the trigger.
And that's a handy basket heading into quarter time.
How far they're pushing up. You really want to force that.
Last shot of the quarter coming up. Sits with the Saints. Johnny Hillu. Great pass inside. Darnay Samuel. Big finish for the Saints. Slapped that one home, got the crowd on their feet.
Chris Johnson was not happy with that, but a miscommunication there on the screen. You can see it coming a mile away.
Oh, and he was happy too, Darnay. Up and about. Have a look at this again on the GJ Gardner replay, if you don't mind. Darnay Samuel.
First dunk of the night too, I think.
Quarter
couple of attempts, but first one that came home, and what a way to end the first quarter.
Tuatara lead this one by 4 at the quarter. Monday night action in the Sal's NBL. Loving it so far. We'll be back with more on Sky Sport right after this.
And 3, 2, 1, go! We got Jamie on the left, Ollie on the right. And look, Ollie makes some press. Jamie gets here in the end. That's one down. Keep going, lads. Let's eat up that time. Thanks to our good sponsors in the NBL, Sal's, authentic New York pizza. We're down to a couple vouchers each. Ollie, can't miss.
How do you say his name?
Just a couple more to go. Jimmy on Wellington.
Played the whole
Jimmy
quarter.
on the north. Ollie on the south. Oh, Jinx, you did this. Just one more each to go. Hamish, just one more. Oh, he's going long.
Done a good job there.
Way to end it on a note.
What are you looking at?
There you go. Wellington NBL still. The Sal's NBL still is available now at all Sal's pizzerias across New Zealand. Enjoy a half pepperoni, half cheese pizza plus 4 garlic knots for just $33. Thank you for all your support, Sal's Pizza.
Quarter time here at TSB Bank Arena. Auckland Tuatara leading this one by 4 over the Saints. But what a finish to the first quarter by the Saints. Bring it back to within 4. Darnay Samuel 7 points in the opening quarter. In fact, 9 points. He is game high right now on the court. Tucky Farrington with 8. Rob Lowe, easy finish to start the second quarter. He has 5 points in the game.
I was just about to mention that they did an okay job on Rob Lowe in the first quarter. And then he opens up with an easy basket to just remind us that he's there.
Mike Smith, 1 of 5 on shooting in that first quarter. Johnny Halou with the pull-up, in and out. Oh, Dougal Meter keeps it alive. Saints to get another look. Smith on McIntosh through traffic. Pass out, Darnay Samuel, no. Loose ball. Johnson up with it. Iuli turns back on Smith. Oh, look out, Chris Johnson loves this situation and gets the shooter's roll.
That's a friendly roll for an opposition basket.
Johnson with 8 points now in the game, 5 rebounds. Good start to the second quarter. Here's Dougal Meter. There's his second of the game, Megan.
And you said he's got 3 in him, so that was a wind-up 3 though, wasn't it? I've never seen it from that angle back on. Oh, straight out of his hands.
Well, McIntosh just stole it like a thief.
And
foul on Dougal Meter. Certainly got the crowd up and going. When you're 6'10", it's a long way down to the floor. There's that 3 from Dougal Meter on the GJ Gardner replay.
I think the referees might be talking about the intent of this foul.
Going to be a common foul.
That's a common foul.
Wow.
Like a common cold.
Something like that.
Is there such a thing as a common cold these days?
No, there's not. There's not. You're right. I was going to say, it's almost an unheard of thing these days, isn't it?
Well, and we should acknowledge a full crowd here to kick off the Sal's NBL 2022 season, and couldn't have come at a better time. Thank you, Jacinda, and all her friends.
And we do hope that the PM's doing okay at the moment. Speaking of common colds.
I'm sure she's getting all the support that she needs.
CJ nailing a couple from the Resine. Here's Mike Smith pulling up. He can't land a blow. Farrington comes up with it. Foul on Tataga Lavau. I'll tell you what, Tucky Farrington is just proving to be a bit of a handful right now for the Saints. 8 points in the game, but just seems like he's involved in everything.
He is, he's everywhere. He's got a hands-on.
8-point margin. Early in the second. Here is Farrington again. Johnson, high-low action.
Looking for a bit of a push in the back there. Can't imagine that pass would have been that off.
CJ certainly thought there should have been a foul. With some bodying on Rob Lowe underneath. Saints. Some work to do. Tataga Lavau has a big couple of bodies there to beat. That's tough stuff amongst tall timber. Dougal Meter can't finish. I reckon young Tataga Lavau got himself in that paint, saw Chris Johnson, turned around, saw Rob Lowe.
So get me out of here.
Foul on Kenneth Tuffin, and That's his third. So he's going to have to take a spell here.
They are going to miss him, and we've got a lot of sharpshooters from the outside, but this guy, under pressure, is who you want to have the ball in their hands. Just like that, it's an 8-point game.
Ngatai back on the floor. Tuffin sitting with 3. Tuatara by 8. Farrenson pushes hard to the baseline. Turnaround jumper from the short corners, long. Mike Smith needs to get going for the Saints. Samuel, speaking of going, hard stuff by Darnay Samuel. Big body work by the number 2 for the Saints.
Oh.
McIntosh, reverse layup. Great feed by Rob Lowe.
Bit of miscommunication there on the backcourt D by the Saints, following up from that unbelievable drive by Darnay.
And they've got to keep going to him here. Mike Smith, offensive foul is called. That'll be on young Tataga Laval.
They've done a good job on Mike Smith so far. You can see he's a bit frustrated.
1 of 6.
Desperate to get something going.
Just the 1 assist, and the reason I talk about that 1 assist is through his collegiate career, he threw over 540.
To go with his 1,900 points.
To the basket. Great drive by Braden Iuli. Just 18 years of age. Samuel for 3. Yes, Darnay Samuel feeling it tonight. 14 in the game. And he is definitely the go-to for the Saints right now, Megan.
Let's get loud for our team.
There he is again.
One bright spot on offense, and he's doing it at the defensive end as well.
And there's going to be a timeout here by the Tuatara. They're lucky not to concede another 3. That one around the world from Jordan Ngatai.
And the timeout's just been pulled.
7-point margin. Underneath, well, somehow Chris McIntosh found Chris Johnson.
Who somehow...
Wait till you see this
had
again
a
on the
player hanging off his
GJ
arm.
I don't know how he found him in the end.
And how he finished that.
That was somewhere between a reverse layup and a pass. And Johnson back to the Resine for a bonus.
That's tough. That could be a 6-point turnaround if that 3 had gone in the corner.
Going into the game for the first time, 21, Jermaine Vui.
Johnson 12 points in the game now, so he's a bit of a handful, up to 13. It's a battle right now between Darnay Samuel at one end and Chris Johnson at the other. CJ taking a break here for the Tuatara, and I reckon the Saints will be happy with that.
Gives them an opportunity to pressure the ball in the middle, keep driving to the lane. That's where they've had some success. And other than Darnay Samuel, there's not a lot of support in the scoring end. And I say that.
Mike Smith. Well, that's what he can do, Megan. That's why he's been brought here to the Saints. He can be electrifying, Mike Smith. Look at this.
And a lot of times for shooters like that, that's just what they need to get back on track. They just need that one, just take the lid off the basket, take it to the hole.
4 years at the Columbia Lions, senior year with the Michigan Wolverines. Mike Smith gets the roll. Quarterback pass, Rob Lowe, too easy in the end. Big finish underneath by Charlie Dalton, the 17-year-old who's just come onto the floor. And that might be his first basket ever in the Cells NBL.
And there it is. A get back.
Well, he's got his eye in now.
Guy Malloy doesn't want to make that mistake twice.
How about Charlie Dalton? What a start for him. Knocked away by Winiata Mulvihill. Big block. Here it is. Francis Winiata Mulvihill getting up high. So Charlie Dalton's first 2 touches. And he comes off the floor now.
Well, he made an impact.
He certainly made an impact. Highlights at both ends of the floor.
And he's got a big smile on his face as he sits down as well.
And there's a wedgie. What would a game of Sal's NBL be without a wedgie? Leads at 6. A real arm wrestle in this second quarter. Plenty of highlights both ways.
And I think the Saints took an opportunity with Chris Johnson off the court to take advantage of
Natai. That is as sweet a shot as you're going to see tonight.
Let's hear you, Wellington. Let's get it up for our team.
McIntosh, no. Rob Lowe underneath, too big, too
not
strong.
much you can do about that.
I just feel like we've gone up another level, Megan. The last couple of minutes, excitement both ways.
I think with Jordan taking the lid off the basket, let's see if he can, oh, spoke too soon.
Bit of a breeze coming in the back door on that one. Here's Farrenson bodying up on Winnie out of Mulverhill. Makes it over the top. 7-point margin. Here's Samuel. What a game so far by Dane. 14 points. Mike Smith starting to get going. Searching for a shot. Elects to go to Dane Samuel. Can't complete.
No. Just looking at those lanes, I'd love a little bit more on the dribble penetration from the Saints. They had some success on it early in the second quarter.
Corner ball, McIntosh. Rebound. Underneath Fitzgerald. Look out, Chris Johnson.
Yeah, you're not going to give up 2 offensive rebounds and come away with it.
Well, he doesn't miss too many from here, does he, Chris Johnson? Double-handed flush. There he is, big CJ, 71-game NBA vet. The 36-year-old, 211-centimetre centre. And he is an excitement machine in the Sal's NBL. Loved him last year, love him this year. He is a highlight reel.
Well, he certainly was missed at the end of the season when he unfortunately had to go back to the States. Probably cost the Tuatara a spot in the Final Four.
Yeah. Well, no, they made the Final Four. Maybe a spot in the grand final.
Yeah,
they pushed the Saints all the way in that semi-final. They're out by 9. It's been a big second quarter.
Love your support teams. Thank you for being with the Saints. A lot of you for a few years.
Last game of round 3 tonight.
Without you. So thank you for all.
The results so far in round 3. Hawks over the Sharks. Rams over the Jets. Nuggets over the Hawks. Giants, great win at the Stockyard over the Bulls. And then yesterday, the Rams get the double on the road, taking care of business against the Airs. And as we saw earlier on, the Rams have jumped up the ladder in the Sal's NBL, 3-1 on the season. Only one unbeaten team, Megan.
And we're seeing them here tonight, and they are true to form, giving us a show.
No Dante Russo-Nance tonight. Mike Smith has had a better second quarter in the corner, winning out of Mulverhill. Dane inside, wants to go to the basket. Over the top of Chris Johnson, he couldn't finish.
Tough, good position. Just feel like you're a little rushed there, but you do want to get it off before the 6'7" comes crashing down on you.
The good sign here is he looks primed for a massive season. Great hands, Mike Smith. Falls to Natai, knocked out by Iuli.
Stays Saints ball.
Yeah, he looks primed for a massive season, the 23-year-old Dane Samuel. There he is. He's just one of those players, Megan, that loves to get the crowd going as well, doesn't he?
Certainly does play to the crowd.
2.5 to play in this opening half. There's Guy Malloy. It's been a tough couple of games to start the season as he's been waiting for the troops to come back. Had some illness during the week, the Saints. That common cold was doing the rounds.
That common cold where it puts you at home for 7 days with
No, actually,
day 0, or just the common cold?
No, it has actually been the common
actual
cold.
common cold.
He's been down a few numbers at training. But I can assure you, if you're a Saints fan,
Good to see the Samuel.
Tom Vodanovic not too far away. You
And
highlighted it earlier, Megan. Another big name to come soon as well.
I see you.
And it's a long season, so don't count. I don't think we can count anyone out yet.
Oh no, they will be.
Oh,
Oh,
there we go.
Dane
There we
Samuel!
go.
How about that? Wowee! That was as big as you'll see in the Cells NBL. Get that GJ Gardner replay up and going. Wait until you see
It's
this.
going to be his third foul.
Dane Samuel. Have a look at this. Bang!
No one around him. And talking about playing up to the crowd absolutely love him.
Don't worry about that. You and I absolutely love him. That was massive. Here it is again from a different angle. He loved every minute of it.
No one got a body on him.
That is.
They made him pay.
If that doesn't make the top 5 highlights in the Cells NBL for round 3, there is seriously something wrong. McIntosh at the regime. You nearly fell out of your chair then, Megan.
No, I'm trying to be neutral this year. I got a little bit of criticism last year for being a bit too Saints biased.
No, I love it. I love it. You be as Saints biased as you want. We've got Phil Jones down at Nelson, Megan Compane here in the capital.
Well, since the Wanganui Wolfpack doesn't exist anymore, I'm picking up the next closest team.
Hello to everyone watching tonight on Sky Sport in Wanganui, by the way. We've got one of your finest sitting here commentating. A couple of chances there for the Saints. 8-point margin. They just can't get it down, can they? Rob Lowe has a size advantage here and uses it over Johnny Halou.
They get close and then that happens. And there's not much we can do about that.
Here's Nartai, great up fake. Has it knocked clear out of his hands though. Wanted a foul, no call. Back the other way, McIntosh pulls it out. Just waits for the cavalry to arrive. Johnson inside low. He'll finish here easy as you like. Great work from the Twin Towers of the Tuatara. They're out by 12.
I'm just running out of a little bit of gas at the end of the second quarter, but that's not going to help.
This would be
There you
good. Winnie out of Mulverhill. Just when they needed something to fall, Francis comes up with the goods.
40 seconds to go.
Rob Lowe, open look. Not often he misses those. Iuli wins it back. Dying seconds. Here's Farrenson. Johnson. Lowe, yes, nails the two. Takes him out by 11. Saints to get the last shot of the half. Mike Smith pulls up, fires away. Nothing but net for Mike Smith. And maybe that'll get the Saints going for the second half. He goes to 11 points in the game. The American, number 24, Mike Smith. And they close it back to 8 at the half. Tuatara 54, Saints 46. Let's catch up with a couple of the stars from the opening half. Here's Megan Compane with Rob Lowe.
What a half. Yeah, they're hanging in there, aren't they? What do you think is going to be the clue for the second half?
Yeah, look, we're doing a great job. We're not doing the simple stuff, the box out, the hustle plays. Once we take care of that in the second half, we'll be fine.
Darnay Samuel sitting around 16 points. What's your answer to stopping him in the second half?
Look, I don't mind what he has. He can have 40, and if we win, that's all that matters. So.
Good luck. Good luck out there. Jordan, welcome back. Good to see you in a Saints uniform. How are you feeling after that first half?
Yeah, not too happy. I mean, just a lot of easy stuff that they're getting from the two bigs. They're good bigs, but I feel like we're giving them too much respect.
It feels like you guys had to start to get going, and then you have a little bit of tough run in the paint. What's the answer to those two big guys to shift them out of the middle?
Keep fighting. I mean, we got big enough bodies to at least fight. Like, that's the only thing. It's just effort.
Well, the crowd's all here for you, so good luck for the second half.
Thank you, thank you.
Back to you, Justin.
So Tuatara have it by 8 at the half, 54-46. We'll take a look at all the stats on the other side of this break. Sellers NBL on Sky Sport.
Next is Jordan.
So there's one. Savi, come on, your turn. Riley, you got 3.
Yeah, you can literally go, hey, thanks, Rob. We'll bring Jordan half-time.
Just get one for me, Savi. Use the backboard, go on. Cheer them on, Wellington. It's not easy to come out here, believe me. That's one for Savi. Angela's just warming up for the next round down the end. I mean, I said 3 consecutive, but 3 will do. Riley, you got 2. Wow. Where are you aiming? Just checking where you're aiming. Oh, that's 3. Savi, maybe it's the hoodie. No? Oh, we'll give it to you anyway. My peoples, come back here. Right, the next one. We've got 3-month voucher. Now, I know what you're saying, a membership. I know what you're saying. Health and fitness. But it's Exodus, so it's good. So for 3 months, what I need you to do is I need you to spin around 5 times. I'm not going to do it because I get dizzy just thinking about it. And then I need you to race down there and make a shot. First one to get it gets the 3-month voucher. Wow, Angelo. All right, Angelo, do you want to start with the rest? Yeah. Okay. You don't have to make it from here. You just have to make it down there. I want you dizzy running. Go, all of you at once. Angelo, have you done your spin? No, back here, mate. Sorry. Spin then run. That's a 1. Hey, mister, you don't tell them the rules. Hey, Mish. Yeah, there you go. If you've done your spins, make that shot. Wow. Wow. Okay, Angelo. First one. And done. Okay. Now we're done with half court. Not that we're actually using it. Okay, first one. Guys, come here. This is for a 12-month membership to our good friends at Exodus Health and Fitness. I need you to make a shot from here, a shot from here, and a shot from here. First one to do that is the 12-month voucher. Angelo, start with the team, mate. Angelo, this guy's on fire. Just throw his away, he can work for it. There you go, take a step back. Did you make the 3? No, just 3. Cheer them on, Wellington.
Welcome back. Half time here at TSB Bank Arena. Been a heck of a game in this first half. Loving this one. Someone else is loving it, walking around behind us as well. The Tuatara is in the house. I love that.
Travelling mascots.
Let's have a look at some stats to half time. And gee, I'll tell you what, Darnay Samuel, that second quarter, and the first for that matter. He's getting this crowd going, but the Twin Towers of the Tuatara, Megan.
That's right. It doesn't feel like an 8-point game. It feels like it's anyone's game, and certainly Dane Salmi has been doing it from everywhere in the paint, outside today. Just starting to get some help from his teammate Mike Smith towards the end of the second quarter.
Chris Johnson, Rob Lowe sharing 14 rebounds between them. Chris Johnson, the #1 rebounder in the Sal's NBL. Let's have a look at the assists so far in this game. And Chris Johnson right up there again. As you would expect, he's involved in everything. Been really impressed with Taki Farrington tonight.
Yeah, that's right. He is involved at all ends of the offensive floor. Not much you can do. Well, can we talk about that block, though?
That was a big one, wasn't it, from Winiera Mulvihill? It was a huge block and one of the highlights of the first half. And Chris McIntosh has been active with the hands. Of course, McIntosh and Iuli have a big job to do tonight. No Dante Russo-Nance for the Tuatara. It's been a big night for the Saints. They have named the court the McFadden Court in the memory of Kenny McFadden. What a great move by the Saints. And here to talk more about that is CEO of the Wellington Saints, Jordan Mills, with Megan Compain now.
Jordan Mills, GM of the Saints. Hey, look, hard to walk into the gym today, I bet, with the passing of the great Kenny McFadden. He's done so much for Wellington, done so much for the Saints, done so much for New Zealand basketball. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing to honour his memory?
For sure. I mean, you hit it nail on the head. He's done everything for this club, for the city, for our sport. The best way we felt that we could honour him is by naming TSB Arena McFadden Court. He was the life of the party. Every time he was around, he was the happiest man. We dearly miss him, and we felt to celebrate him, that was what he would like the most. So for going on, we're going to have McFadden Court for the rest of history.
Well, I asked you at the beginning of the game, are we standing up for a moment's silence? Because that's kind of normally what you do, and what did you tell me?
We'd prefer to cheer. Kenny Mac had a phrase that said, we'll turn the boos into woos. He loved to cheer, he loved to be up and about, so we felt that cheering was the way to do it instead of silence.
I don't think there's many that have crossed the basketball court in Wellington that don't have a Kenny Mac story. I certainly do, and I miss him every day. I bet it's been a tough one for you guys, but I bet your players will be out there playing for Kenny Mac this season.
For sure, it's a hole that we'll never fill. All we can do is try and honour him and do the best we can. We haven't started the first half here too well, but we hope that we can pull it back in the second half.
No doubt he will. Well, good luck for the rest of the season, Jordan. I'm sure I'll see you around.
Thanks, Megan.
Back to you, Justin.
Thanks, Megan. Kenny McFadden, what a star he was for the Saints. Halftime here, Sal's NBL proudly brought to you by GJ Gardner Homes. Tuatara lead it by 8. Second half coming up right after this.
Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for the How Fouls dancers, sponsored by How Pizza and Run Bomb Twitter. Now to finish off half time, we have two mascots here on the corner. Tama the Tuatara and Magilla Gorilla. I thought they were going to do a dance off, but apparently not. Because Magilla's gone. Welcome back to the courts. The Auckland Tuatara and the Wellington Saints, proudly sponsored by Go Media. Arena, ladies and gentlemen. We have some new merch this year. Thanks to the new sponsor of themselves, NZNBL, New Balance. Head down to the merch shop at the front of TSB Arena. Get yourself a singlet, a t-shirt, a cap. We still live in that pandemic era, so get yourself a mask. Represent the Wellington Saints wherever you go. Shout out again to our game day sponsor, Excellent Health and Fitness. Thanks guys for everything you do for the Wellington Saints and the rest of our sponsors. But a special shout out to Packete, Lower Hut, Packete, Upper Hut, and Packete, Kilburn. Thank you for what you do for the Saints in schools. We rather enjoyed you guys coming down to St. Joseph's Upper Hut. So thank you, Packete, Lower Hut, Packete, Upper Hut, and Packete, Kilburn for being proud sponsors of the Wellington Saints and Saints in schools.
Welcome back to TSB Bank Arena. Monday night basketball in the Cells NBL, proudly presented by GJ Gardner Homes. The Saints fans are in the house. They've got a little bit of work to do at the half, young man. And more importantly, not just the TSB Bank Arena, but the Kenny McFadden court. Megan, what a lovely touch.
Oh, we just heard from GM Jordan Mills of what a huge hole that Kenny Mac, leaves in the city, but in the basketball community, and what a way to honour him. And every day here on out, there's a game played here by the Queens coming up as well, because Kenny McFadden put as much time into women's basketball and the women's game as he did his beloved Saints. Will be playing for Kenny Mac.
Yeah, the Taihi Basketball Aotearoa will be tipping off on June 29. Inaugural season coming up for those 5 teams. Looking forward to that one. Right now, though, the Saints fans will be hoping for a big third quarter.
Let's make it a loud one.
The visitors out by 11 now after Chris McIntosh drains a 3 to open this third quarter.
They're saying at 8 points, they haven't really threatened that the Saints gotten closer than that, but it does feel a lot closer when you're watching the game.
And right back the other way, Dougal Meter. There's his third triple of the night. That's his average. I'm sure the Saints fans will be hoping he goes above and beyond.
There's a good chance if he just hit that at the beginning of the third quarter, I wouldn't mind seeing him with the ball in his hand a little bit more often, but turn around and back at you.
Johnson with a deep 2. He has 17 in the game now. Game high. Darnay Samuel, ball on the floor, head goes back, gets to the hoop, Darnay Samuel. Johnson met him at the ring, and Darnay just went whack.
He just wanted it, didn't he? A little bit of an up fake, looking for the foul early, I think, and thought, well, I'm not going to give it to me, I'll just take it all the way then.
And look at that reaction from Darnay.
He's just like got a personal highlight reel in this game.
Man, he's been fun to watch tonight. Up to 18 at the Resine to make it 19, as he does.
Making the most of the Resine foul stripe as well. His bench were liking that. Tom Vodonovic up and on his feet every time he's touching the ball.
I said earlier on that they get it back, the Saints. I said earlier on that one of his highlights, his big dunk in the first half, should make the top 5 for the week.
I think he just betted it.
He may make all 5 the way he's going. It may just be the Darnay Samuel top 5 of the week in the Cells NBL. What a big night from the young 23-year-old. That was electric. 2 massive dunks tonight from the Saints number 2. Here he is again. Look out. Isolates Iuli. Rob Lowe has to come across and help. Tuffin in the corner, usually very good from there. Gets it back, Kenneth Tuffin.
Oh.
Can't finish on the reverse. Third time. Slapped away by Chris Johnson. 7 points. Man, this has been fun tonight, Megan. Here's McIntosh for 2.
Chris McIntosh for 2.
Edge of your seat stuff, but importantly, The Tuatara have led the whole way. Step back, Mike Smith.
Yes.
Hello, Mike Smith.
You say they haven't led all game, but they also haven't had a couple of their stars firing. Kenneth Tuffin hasn't really been able to get into the game with his early foul trouble.
Underneath, Rob Lowe cleans it up. Does his best swinging impression off the iron as well. Every time the Saints come up with something, Mike Smith, another triple.
Well, he has decided to come out and play in the second quarter. So, sorry, second half.
Well, he's up to 14 now. I was about to say, every time the Saints do something, the Tuatara respond. Leads at 5 now. Farronson for 3. And this is as low as the margin has been for quite some time. Smith is feeling it. Look out, he's wide open here.
Why not?
And he's nailed another. Mike Smith.
I love it. Throws up the 3 fingers to the crowd just in case they missed it.
Well, he's just become Wellington's favourite son in the last 30 seconds. That margin is back to 2. Guess who they're going to go to next time down the floor? Just like that. Right back in it. McIntosh for 3 is fouled by Kenneth Tuffin. That's his 4th. He can't believe it.
Yeah, big.
Here he is, Mike Smith. Have a look at this. What a great view of that. And look at the reaction. Man.
Oh, that's an unfortunate foul on Kenneth Tuffin. As we said, he hasn't had a chance to get into the game at all.
4th personal. It'll bring Dougal Meter back onto the floor. Tell you what, McIntosh has played some good minutes tonight, hasn't he?
Well, I think he was taking advantage of. He knew Tuffin was in foul trouble, just a little gun shy. He had those couple of left-hand drives to the basket. One he converted, one was a miss, but an offensive rebound.
He's got 13 in the game now. At the Resine, 3 of 3 from the coloured stripe. He's got 14 points in the game now, Chris McIntosh.
Imagine for the Saints, it's just an annoying 3 points that you don't really want to see on the scoreboard.
Nartai back out. Ooh. Samuel releases. Oh, nearly dropped it. This game has had it all tonight. Monday night action in the Cells NBL. Braden Iuli. What a classy move from the young man.
With the finish.
18 years of age.
I took the body contact like a champ, you say, from an experienced import. What a wonderful finish. Delightful finish.
His coach, Aaron Young. Braden Iuli, who really didn't get a go last year for the Bulls. That is a great drive. Tough stuff. Can't convert from the Resine. 7-point margin. Here's Mike Smith again. Out. Chance. Yes. Johnny Hillu. Raining triples. Johnson. CJ gets up. You just don't know where to look next.
No, you can't turn your back for a second either. I think there's a little bit too much celebrating there with that corner 3 by Johnny Hillu, and the Tuatara are going to make you pay.
Hillu to the corner. Back out now, Smith. Steps around Rob Lowe. Steps out for a 3. No. It almost feels like a letdown.
Did not have his feet underneath him on that one.
Well, McIntosh with space had a sneaky look. Has Lowe down low. As you
bit of a
would.
mismatch.
Too big.
Not much Mike Smith can do in that situation.
Felt a little bit awkward then saying low down low.
Sound like a rap song from the 90s.
Well, you and I were both there. Few players on the court weren't there.
No.
There's Dane.
Oh, you can see him looking at that baseline. There's nothing you can do about that first step. That is lightning fast. Just
have a look at this from Chris Johnson on the GJ Gardner Holmes replay. Oh, wow. He's so much fun to watch. And that lead is back to 8. Hanging around. The Saints. Dane over Johnson. No, it's a hard shot in the end. Iuli away quickly. McIntosh on the reverse. Classy. He's up to 15.
What a finish.
I'll take that back. He's got 16 in the game now. He has been really good tonight, Chris McIntosh. Tripled short from Johnny Hillu. Here's Iuli. He's really getting up and down right now, Braden Iuli. And Guy Malloy wants to chat. They got it back to 5.
It just seems like a little bit lazy defense, getting back in the paint, letting those open layups going from end to end. As you say, there was a 5-point game just not long ago.
Now
on
we're
the back
to
of
12.
a couple of sharp shooting threes from Michael Smith.
He's got 5 triples in the game now, Megan. 20 points, Mike Smith. Oh, there's Jacinta Beckley in the crowd.
I think that's our Tokomanawa Queens.
Yeah, Stella Beck sitting beside her. There's a number of the Queens. There's some dance moves going on.
And a dad getting out of the way.
She's gone over to you, son. It's all you.
Must say, the Saints do know how to put on a game for the crowd. Such a fan-friendly arena. I love it.
Well, this has been a fun game tonight. Hope you're enjoying it on Sky Sport. Long way to go yet. And if you're worried about that 12-point margin, don't be, because as we saw in the opening minutes of this third quarter, the Saints got themselves right back into it quickly.
Just looking at the scoreline, though, if you're a Saints fan, you would like to see a few more fouls stacking up against some of those key players, but none of them are in serious foul trouble. Chris McIntosh on 2, which you can certainly manage with 4 minutes to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, Chris Johnson's got 1. Rob Lowe's got 1. I'll tell you the player who I think's got under the guard of the Saints is Chris McIntosh. 16 points now. He's having one of his best nights out in the Cells NBL. Here's Nartai. That's a hard shot from there, and he makes it. Jordan Nartai.
Over the outstretched arm of Rob Lowe.
That's not easy at the best of times. Giving away inches. As Tautaga-Leveo is right there. CJ with another slam.
There's a lot to like about Chris Johnson. He's just class, isn't he?
Pass underneath to Hilu was a good one from Nartai. Saints get it back. Here's Johnson on the spin over to Tautaga-Leveo.
It was a great hustle by Tautaga-Leveo to get the ball back.
21 in the game for Johnson. Double-double with 10 rebounds as well. A little bit of how do you do going on between Rob Lowe and young Tautaga-Leveo. Love that. Still going at it. Don't think there's too much in that. I like the fact that the young man's not backing down, though. There's Nartai. Good hand there by Rob Lowe. Rob Lowe knew exactly what was coming. Pass picked off by Mulvihill. Smith has Rob Lowe in front of him. Nartai steps around Farronson for another triple. Can't nail it.
You'd love to have seen that one drop. 11-point game.
Rob Lowe and Tautaga-Leveo still going at it, back the other way on this occasion. And young Tautaga-Leveo with the foul. That's his 4th personal. So foul trouble is there for the Saints tonight. Of course, Kenneth Tuffin has 4 Megan, and that's a big loss for the Saints at the moment.
And yet to get on the board.
McIntosh has been massive tonight. I think Mike Smith got a little bit of a hand on that.
He might have.
I'm putting that down as a block. Ngatai shut down quickly by Johnson. Hilu has Ngatai underneath. Here's Smith, shot clock counting down, goes to the corner, great feed. Winning out of Mulvihill, and Mike Smith, that was a perfect setup.
To say there's the assist coming into play. Certainly sees that open lane.
They're not going away, the Saints. McIntosh. Foot violation. Doing his best Jared Kenny impersonation is Winiata Mulvihill. Timeout called.
Are we allowed to talk about his mullet?
Of course we are.
Are we? I've just
I'm
been
sure
sitting here 3/4 in, waiting for the right opportunity. Now's as good as any.
If you had a great hairdo like that, wouldn't you want the commentary team talking about it?
I'm just looking at it going, I feel like I've gone step back in time for 20 years and I'm watching his dad running around on the court. Do you think his mullet is in honour of his dad? Or has he just been watching the All Blacks and all the All Blacks have mullets these days, so just following the trend?
Speaking of hairdos back in the day, Dylan Boucher looking a little bit different these days.
I think Dylan Boucher hasn't changed in 25 years, though. I'm pretty sure he could probably still lead the league in rebounding and steals if he played today.
I think that if Dylan Boucher was to step back on the floor, we would demand some blonde tips, wouldn't we?
We would, absolutely. And obviously he's stepped off the court and into the boardroom as the CEO of Basketball New Zealand and doing a great job.
I reckon Frankie Mulvihill will love the fact that you said he was playing 20 years ago as well.
It's a bit longer than that, was it? I was 20 years ago, wasn't I?
The fans are enjoying it tonight. It's been a good one in the Sal's NBL, packed with highlights on Sky Sport. Saints are hanging in there. Tuatara, what a start to the season they've had, and they have been really good tonight again.
They have, and you're right, the Saints have played well so far. They're not out of the game yet. It will be a tough one to come back to with the foul trouble that they're finding themselves in.
Saints
but the Tuatara are strong.
Saints have got Vidanovic to come into the team and another import. More on that during the week.
And of course, Tuatara has sat down one of their inputs who didn't get a late clearance come through either. So
yep, Silas Schneider, look out for him on Wednesday night, hopefully. Dante Russo-Nance will be back Wednesday night against the Hawks as well. Oh, look out. Ngatai for three. Oh, underneath. Winnie out of Mulvihill, getting up really high in front of Johnson. Look at the hops here on the rebound from Winnie out of Mulvihill. He just wants us to talk about that mullet again, I think.
I'm not going to mention it again. It's one and only.
Flowing locks.
Just saying it's great to see that he's honouring his dad and bringing back his dad's haircut.
I reckon he's outdone Jared Kenny as well. Here's Mike Smith. Ngatai wide open now. Was there a foul?
Might have been a bit of a knock on the arm there.
Dane Samuel will go to the Resine. Hayden Pipe said Jordan Ngatai kicked his leg out to cause that contact. He was right on it, to be fair, the official. Had a great view of it.
Did have a good view, so he must have seen something that we didn't, that Jordan Ngatai didn't.
Samuel back at the Resine, makes the first. He's had a big night tonight, Dane Samuel. 20 points in the game. And some amazing highlights.
And he's capitalised on the Resine stripe, not letting a lot of points go.
5 of 5 he is. Johnson! I was about to say the Saints back to within 6. But just like that, Johnson puts it back out again to 8. Winnie out of Mulvihill. What a big shot from the young man.
Taking a leaf out of Mike Smith's book, showing the crowd or showing the refs and making sure they knew it was a three-pointer from the corner there. He is having a stellar game.
Margin at 5. To the basket. Tom Beattie, the 17-year-old. Ball out of play. And I reckon the Saints are going to come back up with it here.
just quietly sneak back up on you. 11 points, 12 points, and all of a sudden 5 points. So, I mean, it must be feeling a lot more real for the Tuatara, who are sitting there going, can we keep the momentum going and keep the pedal down?
This one could go down to the wire tonight, ladies and gentlemen. That came off the knee of Winnietta Mulvihill, not seen by the referee.
I think they got away with one there.
Yeah, I think so. Clearly came off his leg. Shot clock down to 3. That's a tough shot by Dane Samuel. Long ball to Lowe. Lowe should finish this over Smith. He's fouled. That's a good foul in the end by Mike Smith.
It's impressive that he actually got up there to foul him.
Well, he'll make Rob Lowe earn it from the Resine here. 3.9 to go in the quarter.
Currently sitting at 1 for 2 from the free throw line, so
Gotta love some Monday night Sal's NBL action. We've had it all tonight on Sky Sport. And if you're looking forward to round 4, it starts in 48 hours' time.
And you'll be there, Justin.
I will be there for that one with Brooke Rusco. Looking forward to that. The Tuatara and the Hawks. The big games keep coming thick and fast.
There's a lot to like about the 2022 season, and not much in it on the points table, with some strong performances coming out of everywhere in the country.
Rob Lowe makes them both. Smith will get a late shot. Block comes up from young Tom Beattie, and that'll do us at 3/4 time. So the visitors have it by 7. But I reckon this one's going to be a barn burner tonight. Stick with us. A big last quarter in the Sal's NBL coming up right after this.
Competition of the game. Please welcome to the court, Jake. It is the GJ Gardner Holmes New Zealand Gorilla Thriller time. Half-court shot made by Al McGilla. One shot. One. Oh, it's first game. You tell me, mate. You tell me. If he makes it, ladies and gentlemen, 3, you reckon? Jake says 3. What do you reckon? 3 shots or 1 shot? 1? Is that 1? 3. Okay, 3. Jake, 3. 3 shots for a Saints surprise pack. You gotta make some noise. I told you he's getting older. Ladies and gentlemen, 3 shots for Jake to take some goodies home. Come on, McGilla.
Welcome back to the Kenny McFadden Court here at the TSB Bank Arena. The capital city is rocking tonight. Monday night basketball in the Sal's NBL, proudly presented by GJ Gardner Holmes. Justin Nelson and Megan Compain with you. 7-point margin. But Megan, this one tonight has all the makings in it to go right down to the wire.
I think it will go down to the wire. I think that Kenneth Tuffin's going to come in the this last quarter at some point and make a difference. He's sitting on no points at the moment. He's had a tough game from the personal foul perspective, but he could be back in it. And it's just a lot of weapons out there on the court. But man, the Tuatara are good.
Well, the Sal's NBL highlight show is on every Tuesday night, 7:30 p.m. on Sky Sport. Keep an eye out for it this week, because I reckon, in fact tomorrow night, because I reckon this game is going to feature big time. It has been stacked with highlights. We're underway in the last. The Saints down by 7. Tuatara doing a great job on foreign soil. Well, not foreign soil, but you know what I mean. Here's Samuel for three. What a start. That's what they needed. That's what they needed. Dane with another highlight. 24 in the game, back to 5.
If you've watched his feet when he does that, he's got the quickness of a guard.
It's the fourth quarter. Let's give it to Auckland.
Iuli, Farronson from deep. That's short, low. Underneath is fouled over the top by Winiera Mulliverhill, who wanted the jump ball called. They're always a hard one though, aren't they, when you're coming over the back?
and grabbing both of his wrists. Yeah, a little bit difficult for the ref to call that one. But like I said before, probably not a bad foul because it's a guaranteed 2 points versus you got to earn it from the Rosine.
Well, he earned it last time up, late in the third quarter. Hit both. Well, there you go, Megan. Commentator's curse. That's on you. Second look at it, Rob Lowe makes it, leads at 6.
Let's go, Saints.
Tuatara looking to go 4-0. Saints looking for their first win of the season. The reigning champs. Ngatai on the curl. Draws the foul. There's a hush over the crowd tonight. Good Monday night crowd. Rob Lowe takes a break. Nick Barrow into the game. Kenneth Tuffin about to come back in for Johnny Hillu. Tuffin with 4 fouls.
Number 20, Kenneth Tuffin.
So the Tuatara haven't had to be concerned about the foul count till now, but they did sit Rob Lowe down after he just picked up his second.
And this quarter is primed for a couple of Tuffin threes, maybe a Dane Samuel triple. So close.
So close.
Make some noise, Wellington.
Tom Beattie to Iululi, no. And just a bit of a lazy foul in the end from behind on Nick Barrow. Second team foul of the quarter. That'll be one to watch as the quarter progresses. Just 6 points in it. Every time the Saints have come though, Megan, the Tuatara have responded.
That's
Here's
right,
Smith.
They're going to want to make the most of...
Tuffin outside. Dane Samuel. Couldn't complete it. Back the other way, the Tuatara has Johnson. Can he go from deep? No.
As I say, the Saints will want to make the most of Rob Lowe sitting on the bench.
Corner ball. When he had a Mulliverhill, no, loose ball. They come up with it, the Tuatara. Here's young Beattie to the basket. Kisses it off the glass for 2. Showing some pace, the young man.
And Dane's grabbing his calf.
Yeah, something's not right down the other end of the floor.
Whether he's going to walk that off or...
He's intimating as if it's a cramp at the moment, so we'll keep an eye on that. Left leg for Dane Samuel. Well picked up, Megan. He's just hiding out in the corner at the moment. Here's Ngatai spinning underneath. Is fouled. Chris Johnson was right there to meet him. There's something going on with Dane here. GJ Gardner-Holmes replay. He's still, you can see him there with Mike Smith. It definitely looks like a cramp.
Stretching out, yep.
So hopefully nothing more than that, because he's been a star tonight with 23 points.
23 points and 1 foul, because that's something that he struggled with last year, where he was really effective in the scoring line, but he would stack up the personal fouls a little quickly. So he's done a really good job tonight, doing it on both ends of the court, but staying out of the foul trouble.
I think amazingly though, Megan, because it feels like there's a highlight coming every time. Good high-low action there from the Tuatara. They do that so well. Guy Malloy calls a timeout straight away. Darnay Samuel's gone 2 of 10 from the arc tonight.
I wouldn't have said that.
No. No, not at all. He looks like he's been a threat every time.
That's right. So unless he's just been getting close to the line with his toe at the line that we're not seeing.
And if these stats are right, and you'd expect that they are, I'll tell you what's creeped up on us. They've put up 44 three-point attempts, the Saints. 44. Darnay 2 of 10, Smith 5 of 10, Ngatai 2 of 9, 63 shots in the game, 44 have come from downtown.
And I'm not sure whether that they've needed to. But they've had, just before with Rob Lowe sitting on the bench, I would have loved to have seen them take advantage of that and spending a bit more time and taking it to the hole and seeing whether they can get a few early fouls on the Tuatara. Take advantage of that extra big long body not in the paint.
Well, they've hit 16 of them, so that's certainly kept them up there. And you're right, I guess those 44 have come from just the fact that they've got 2 6'10" huge threes in the middle.
Sitting in the paint.
That lead at 8. And you've got to give credit where credit's due, and they deserve plenty of credit tonight, the Tuatara, because every time the Saints have come at them with this home crowd behind them, they've responded.
They certainly have, and there's a reason why they're 3-0. There's a lot to like about
Here's
the Tuatara.
Tuffin.
So he's going to prove me wrong now. I said he was going to be our knight in shining armour.
0 of 4. Farrenson's been terrific tonight. Chris Johnson has been really good. Farrenson, big finish, great pass, Rob Lowe. Massive play by Tuatara.
All started with a mismatch down low, double team, kicked the ball that extra cut. That was beautiful run basketball.
And Farrenson just snuck in underneath them. Tough shot, Mike Smith. That lead back out to 10.
Mike Smith hasn't really got going yet in this fourth quarter, and he was so good at the beginning of the third quarter. We'll want to see the ball in his hands a little bit more often as we start to creep into the dying minutes of this game.
Tucky Farrenson, 12 points, 5 assists. Rob Lowe, 22 points, 10 rebounds, including 4 offensive rebounds. Chris Johnson, 23 and 14 tonight. Jordan Ngatai takes a rest as young Fui comes back onto the floor. 6:31 to play. Tuatara in foul trouble now. So the Saints need to keep pushing the tempo here. Mike Smith nails a couple from the Razine. Brings it back to 8. I feel like I've said brings it back to 8, Megan, about 20 times tonight.
And I was about to correct you and say 7, and then I re-looked and I was like, oh no, you are right, it is 8. I just can't count.
Johnson. No.
The other thing you've said a lot, brings it back to 5. Let's see if we can... Oh.
Not on that. Turnover. Farrenson picks it off, goes hard to the basket for a big make on Kenneth Tuffin, who had to back off in the end on those 4 fouls. Good pickup by Farrenson. Been really impressed with this young man's game tonight.
He knew exactly who he had next to him and with him, and he knew that he couldn't afford the fouls. He just went at him, and Kenneth Tuffin's going to sit down after a really, really tough night at the office.
Fouled out of the game, the Saints skipper. Not his night. Had 3 early fouls. He finishes having played less than 14 minutes. 0 of 4, no points in the game. Not often you'll see that from the Saints number 20. 10-point margin, 11-point margin, 9-point margin. Here's Rob Lowe from the short corner. Hit the side of the backboard. You won't see that too often. Saints in a zone. Rob Lowe goes for a second look. They get it back. And Beattie gets to the basket. The 17-year-old. Couple of massive touches in this game tonight.
That's going to be frustrating for Coach Guy Malloy, giving up 2 offensive rebounds and a layup. Just can't afford to do that.
Have the Saints got it in them to come again? They trail by 11. Smith can't convert. Johnson to Beattie. Somehow finds Farrenson, fires away from the corner.
Wow.
Well, just like that, the Auckland Tuatara have taken the wind completely out of the sails of the Saints. Some holding inside. Young Tom Beattie will get called for the foul. He'll be pretty happy with his game tonight, the youngster.
They've seen a lot of great performances, as I say. Chris McIntosh sitting at 16, and he's been quiet so far in the second, well, the fourth quarter. He hasn't seen the court much, but there was a lot to like of him early on.
Well, we haven't really seen him since halfway through the third.
That's right.
He's got 16 in the game, Chris McIntosh. Mike Smith back at the Resine. Can you believe that margin's out to 14, just like that?
They haven't, as close as this game has appeared, they haven't really had it out of their control.
Smith up to 26. Margins at 12, 4.5 to play. They can score quickly, the Saints. We've seen that tonight. But the Tuatara will just about kill it off with that one. Big roll there for young Tom Beattie. And his teammates will get around him because in such a short, young Sal's NBL career, Tom Beattie has put himself on the map tonight. 195 centimetre, 17-year-old. How about his game?
Taking his chances, and why not?
Gets the lucky bounce. 7 points and 3 rebounds in the game for the young man. 15-point margin. As you said earlier, Megan, Tom Vodanovic to come into this Saints team next week. They play next Sunday against the Rams.
The Rams, who have started the season off with a bit of a roar too, under new coach Judd Flavel.
Had a couple of wins in round 3 against the Jets and the Airs. Results so far in round 3. Hawks over the Sharks, Rams over the Jets, Nuggets over the Hawks, Giants with that great win against the Bulls, and the Rams defeated the Airs by 12 yesterday. Got to love a little bit of mascot action.
A little bit of Tuatara action. No, the mascots travelled.
There they are, the two mascots. McGilla.
That's a sign of a healthy league.
It is.
That the mascots get a seat on the plane.
Is that Tama the Tuatara? And of course, McGilla Gorilla, who I think is just about been there since day one with the Saints.
I think it's the same suit. There is rumour that that is the same suit.
Surely it's been dry cleaned, Megan, surely.
You'd have to ask.
You'd like to think so. 15-point margin, just like that. 18-10 last quarter by the visitors. Tonight they've turned it over to Tagovailoa. Not sure if he realised he had Rob Lowe in front of him. And they've turned it over. Ngatai up with it. 3-on-1 here. Scoops it underneath. Rob Lowe back to help out and knock it away. Great defense by Rob Lowe.
Yeah, tough spot to put the young guy in. Under the basket, 3-on-2.
Johnson inside, can't keep it in. Did all that he could. There he is, big CJ. I'll tell you what, if you get an opportunity, home or away around the Cells NBL this season, go up and say hello to Chris Johnson after a game. There's Tom Vodanovic. 71 NBA games, and he's such a great guy to talk to. All the time in the world for the fans. Will always stop and say hello. You've got to love that, Megan.
They're carrying on the tradition of, we've been pretty lucky, pretty spoiled with some incredible American imports along the way. None better than, I've said his name a few times tonight, but Kenny Mack.
Yep.
And it's great to see that there's those young Americans that are coming through and enjoying their time here.
I reckon Tataga Leveo's eyes lit up a minute ago until he saw Chris Johnson in front of him. Here's Farrenson. Beatty. Not again. Oh! Nearly gets the roll a second time in this quarter.
Friendly rims for the opposition.
Let's go, Saints.
Not so much for the home team, although Mike Smith just proves us wrong. I would have loved to see the ball in his hands, taking control. It's up to 29 points.
Yep, 29 in the game for Mike Smith. That's almost game high. It is game high. There's been some big scorers tonight. Rob Lowe with Tataga Leveo with him. Some experience against some inexperience. And the experience wins out.
He certainly knows what he's doing down there when he gets the ball low in the post.
Super impressive tonight,
Beautiful
Rob Lowe.
Pass.
Mike Smith with the dime. Fui with the finish. Rob Lowe, 27 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. One of the star recruits. Oh, slapped away by Fui. Fui said no.
The Saints still want to give the crowd something to cheer about in the dying minutes of this game.
Well, that young man there gave him a lot to get excited about. Inside the last 2 minutes, 12-point margin.
Coach Guy Malloy getting some of his young guns a run.
Farrenson to the basket. He's had a big night tonight, Tucky Farrenson. Up to 20 points now, Megan. He's been fun to watch. Speaking of fun to watch, not on this occasion for Mike Smith. McIntosh is back out there in those green boots. Farrenson for a triple.
Let's go, Saints.
And the Saints crowd getting behind their team in the last, go into the last minute of the game. Tough night.
Another block for Rob Lowe. Foul off the rebound.
Something obviously happened on the other side of the court that we weren't privy to.
Rob Lowe with his second block of the night. Late timeout in this one, 64 seconds to play. Let's have a chat about the Tuatara. They're going to go to 4-0 off the back of this. Silas Schneider, who is here tonight, by the way. You can just, he's just stepped out of frame. The American guard who has joined the Tuatara late this week. You can just see him over the back there in front of Rob Lowe. Mind you, it's very hard to be seen in front of Rob Lowe or behind Rob Lowe, whichever way you look at it. But you can see the American Silas Schneider standing up there listening to Coach Aaron Young.
I mean, he'll be itching to get on the court, warming up with the team we noticed earlier today. He doesn't have long to wait, at least.
There he is. Silas Schneider. And the Tuatara will be hoping that he's in action, but they do turn around quickly. They take on the Hawks Wednesday night, and no doubt Mick Downer will be sitting at home tonight along with the Hawks.
Taking a few notes, you think?
There's Schneider on screen. I'll definitely be taking a few notes. Can't wait to see Ethan Rusbatch on Wednesday night. He's been so much fun to watch as well to start the season.
I mean, he had a great final last year against the Saints out at Te Rapaha Arena. unlucky to come away with the loss. The Hawks, that was a...
Last year, of course. Yep, 2 points. What a game that was.
It was a game.
Tom Gold onto the court at the Resine. 104.91 inside the last minute of play here tonight. This will bring round 3 to a close.
Not close on the scoreboard, but felt a lot closer sitting here watching, and certainly the crowd have been behind their Saints. Great to see them all show up on a Monday night.
Oh, and if you just love your basketball action, tonight's had it all. Right from the start, the highlights were spinning and continue to spin for Chris Johnson. Right on cue, 25 and 17 tonight for CJ.
I think we might have to have a word with him after the end of the game, do you think?
Absolutely. Johnny Halou draws the foul. He's off to the Resine. Yeah, CJ definitely deserves some airtime tonight. Tucky Farrenson, Chris McIntosh, Rob Lowe, they're all lining up.
And look at that scoreline through the Tuatara team.
Tell you the other thing, Wednesday night basketball isn't what you'd call a tradition here in New Zealand, but the Tuatara are back in action in 48 hours. If you're an Aucklander, get along to that game, because you have to come and see this team in action. And they take on the Hawks, who will be smarting after a loss to the Nuggets. If you love your basketball in Auckland, Event Finder Stadium on Wednesday night, 7:30 p.m. That's where you need to be. You'll have a lot of fun. Oh, big block. Winnie out of Mulverhill. Beatty to the basket. That'll do us.
Is Dante's mum going to let him play on Wednesday
Oh,
night?
he'll be playing. He'll be back in action. How's the Tuatara tonight? Big winners. 106.91 in the end by 15. There's Tom Vodanovic. He'll be in action next Sunday when the Saints play the Rams right here on Kenny McFadden Court in the capital. The Saints 0-3 to start the season, but looking a lot sharper tonight. Tommy V to come, and we're hearing a big import announcement just days away. And from all reports, that will be a significant in for the Saints, maybe the biggest import of season 2022. Stay tuned for that. They may be 0-3, but you know that the train is about to speed up for the Wellington Saints, the reigning champs, the 12-time champs who unveiled their 2021 banner earlier tonight. Darnay Samuel had a massive game tonight. 23 points. Speaking of massive games, Chris Johnson. 25 points, 17 rebounds, 4 assists. They've only got him down for 1 block. I reckon he may have had a couple. The league's leading rebounder, Chris Johnson. And he's about to join Megan Compain.
We're here with Chris Johnson. Congratulations and on a win. You're 4-0 on the trot. Didn't really have the game out of control, but it did feel closer to the crowd watching than the scoreboard suggested. How was it out there?
With the history of this team, and you see all these banners right here, you can't really count these guys out ever. So, you know, it's a great respect for this team, and you know it's going to be runs. And, I mean, just like in basketball, it is in life, things are going to happen. You just got to adjust. So.
Well, great to see you back this year. Is that a bit of a challenge? Are we going to see you want to knock off this banner from this team, put one up in your own home court maybe?
It's too early in the season to say that, but, you know, we keep on chugging away with the process, and just falling in love with it. Anything can happen for sure.
Well, it's a lot to like about your team. Congratulations and good luck on Wednesday.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Back to you, Justin.
Good on you, Megan. He is a ripper, Chris Johnson. And as I said, for all of you fans in Auckland, whether you're Tuatara fans or just basketball fans, you need to get to Event Finder on Wednesday night. Get online, get your tickets at the door, because that will be a huge game in just 48 hours time, the Tuatara and the Hawks. That will tip off round 4 of the Sal's NBL. Let's have a look at some stats from tonight. Plenty of them. Mike Smith ended up with 29 for the Saints. Johnson and Lowe and Farronson and McIntosh. Well, they came to play, didn't they?
They all came to play. Talk about a balanced scoreline, but when you look at the Saints, they still put up 91 points with their captain and usually sharpshooter from the corner, Kenneth Tuppen, not contributing a single point tonight. So, as you say, they've still got a few tricks up their sleeves with players coming in the next game.
On the upside for the Saints is coming into this game, they were averaging 71 points a game, and they've put 91 against the top team tonight. So some good times coming up. They were beaten heavily on the boards though tonight, 46-33. Chris Johnson and Rob Lowe doing the damage. Mike Smith with 7 dimes. But look at that spread for the Tuatara. And Rob Lowe leading the way.
Well, yeah, not hard when you're standing that many feet above the rest of your competition. But yeah, again, they're just a great team effort tonight.
Lots of blocks tonight. May not show up there, but there was some great defense. And there's the steals as well. Let's have a look at what's coming up. Round 4 is about to start. Believe it or not, Monday night action tonight. Wednesday night action tips us off. Tuatara and the Hawks. Who are you going to go for there? Just as an early tip.
I'm Saints all the way, but after witnessing Auckland Tuatara, knowing what they've got up their sleeves coming back, knowing that Dante's going to get let out of his curfew, they're going to be hard to beat at home. But they are coming up against the Hawke's Bay Hawks, who have a very good, strong team and are smarting after that last loss.
Bulls and Nuggets, Giants and Rams. Check out the NZNBL website, because there's plenty of other games coming up in round 4 as well. And just for the listeners out there, we know Dante doesn't have a curfew. We are having a little bit of fun, so relax, it's okay. There's Mike Smith. Had a big night tonight for the Saints, but it wasn't their night, Megan. It belonged to the Tuatara. They go 4-0. They're on fire to start the season. Get to Event Finder on Wednesday night. That is going to be an absolute ripper. Hope you've enjoyed it. Great to see you again.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Good to be here, and I'll see you soon.
We'll see you next Sunday. Game. Hope you enjoyed it. 3 rounds down in the Sal's NBL this season. It'll just keep getting hotter in the kitchen. Round 4 tips off on Wednesday night. We'll catch you then on Sky Sport.